Hey guys, hope you're doing good today. This is Ashley, and today I'm going to be talking about just how I'm doing a reset for the month of April and just like talking about the monthly goals that I have set for the month of April. In one of my past videos, I was talking about how I just want to really go after the goals and the things that I feel called to do more this year, and I feel like this is a starting place, like writing my goals down at the beginning of every month, seeing what I check off at the end of every month, and just like being really intentional about setting the goals and accomplishing them and getting to them. So I wanted to share this with you, so hopefully it can inspire you to really like look at what your goals are for this month and kind of see how I break it down, and maybe it'll be inspirational for you as well. I also think it'll just be helpful to hold me more accountable for it. So I want to get into it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to be talking about finance goals. I have everything on my computer here. So I'm going to be talking about finance goals, health goals, dreams that I have for like this month and like what that looks like. I'll go into it a little bit more. Personal goals and self-care goals for the month of April. So I'm really excited to kind of get into it all and talk to you guys. I'm really trying to just prepare and plan and get things accomplished this month. No games I'm playing this month. So let's get into it. So one big thing that I have given myself the grace to do this year is dream again. And I've talked about it previously, but I really want to be intentional about going after the things that I'm called to do and not letting fear stop me from going after those things. So I decided to set a category that's called dreaming again. And it's not your usual like category that you'll see, but this is one for me that's a little atypical, but I think it's going to be helpful for me in this process that I'm in. Alright, so the first one is create a vision board for the month. So I want to go into Canva and just like figure out what my goals are for the month and like figure out pictures and different things to align with them. And I know it's so common to set vision boards for the year, but I want to figure out how to set them for the month. And that way I can set it for the month, print it off, and kind of put it somewhere so I can see, so it's more tangible, so I can like look at it every morning when I wake up, or put it as a background on my computer or my phone. So create like a cute vision board in Canva is definitely a goal for me in the category of dreaming again. I heard about this on a podcast, and if I find the podcast again, I'm gonna link it so you guys can go listen to it. It was like a productivity podcast I was listening to the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna try this going into the month of April. The next thing I did in the month of March that I found so helpful that I want to do again in April is just having some moments with God to really like plan out what he has for me to do or what he wants for me to do, almost like a business meeting with God. So it was the most amazing thing, and I tried it for the first time in April, where it wasn't just like I did it at home, but I actually went to like a WeWork nearby and like spent the day there. And for a part of the day I was essentially like literally trying to tap in and hear what God was telling me to do for the month, or like for this upcoming year, even in general. So I want to do that again. Just figure out a way, even if it's going to a coffee shop or going to a WeWork or going to somewhere that I like would like to do this at. And that way I can really tap in. Like business meetings with God is part of the dreaming again list. So that way I can just like be distraction free and hear what he's trying to get me to do. The next thing under this category is in the realm of having an accountability partner. So me and my husband are each other's accountability partner, and I also have friends that I kind of turn to for certain things that I need for them to hold me accountable for. But essentially what we've started to do and what I want to continue to do is like set our goals for the day and then talk about them to each other. So I'll tell him my top three goals for the day, and he'll share with me his top three goals for the day at the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the day we kind of just regroup and ask each other what we got accomplished, why we didn't accomplish certain things, what our goal is for the next day, things like that. And I think it's really been pretty helpful, and I want to be intentional about continuing that going into the month of April. And lastly, writing out a plan for the next day. So that's something that I have started to do lately, like figure out, okay, what's my game plan for tomorrow, instead of figuring out the game plan for tomorrow. So writing it out the night before, getting my clothes out the night before, creating my like Google Calendar, all the things, so I can really figure out like what do I need to do the next day, what are my top three goals for that day. Okay, so let's touch on finance really quickly. Okay, so I really want to be intentional in the area of finances just because it's important, right? One of the biggest things I want to do is look at our bank account every day and just look at it daily, regardless of anything. I feel like we set budgets for the month, right? But I want to look at it daily just to figure out like, oh, I think we're about to go over in the area of food, because that's just the area that I know I struggle with, because I'm always like, oh, I want to make this recipe. Let me just run back to the store and I already have food bought for the week. But anyways, looking at our bank account every day, using a different spreadsheet, because now we use like a plain Jane, like regular Excel, but I want to find a cute one like on Etsy that just gives me all the feels and like I'm excited to look at. Completing our taxes, they are due super soon. Like we've started the process, but we need to finish them. And planning out our summer travel. I feel like we have a lot of travel coming up this summer, which I'm so excited about, but I want to plan it out, prep it out. I don't want to wait till the last minute to plan out flights, because we have several weddings and just things to go to this summer. I'm looking forward to going, but we need to prep and plan those things out. So that's the main finance goals for the month of April. Let's move into my personal goals. Okay, so let's talk about personal goals that I have set for the month of April. The first one is the one that I've been trying to figure out for a little bit of time here, and that is creating a cleaning system that works well for me and for us. I feel like right now we do the typical like tidy up the night before, morning of, things like next morning, things like that, and then deep clean on the weekends. But I want to figure out like what will work for me so that we don't have to spend so much time cleaning or like deep cleaning on the weekend. So like how can we clean maybe like a room a day? Things like that is something I'm trying to figure out what a system could be. We want to finish our renovation that we did. So we called it a mini mood renovation, and essentially we made several changes in our apartment. And honestly, like I've realized that when you change around your space, it can also improve your mood. So that has been something that we've been working on these past couple of months, but I want to like finish out that task and do as much as we can this month. We did this wall, which I love this wall, and we made it really renter friendly, so that way we don't get charged fines or anything when we move out. But we made it renter friendly. They said we can paint, so we kept it moving and just painted, and I love it so far. And we bought some new plants. We changed some other stuff in here, got a new desk, like, and did some changes in the bedroom too. But we have several other things planned to do. So there's things we have to build and to make and DIY and stuff like that. So I want to finish that off this month. I want to focus on decluttering as well this month and just start with doing small tasks. Like for example, we have like probably 10 mugs or 12 mugs or something, and I just feel like I love different mugs because they like make me happy. I don't know why, I just like different mugs, but I want to figure out how to just declutter, and that's just a simple example of what I want to declutter and get rid of more things. Another goal is just one day off of social media, like literally spend one day not getting on social media, maybe even a whole weekend. I honestly don't even love getting on Instagram that much anymore, but I want to start like creating more content on it, but not allowing it to consume me. So spending one day off of social media is a big thing for me. Another personal goal that I have is upload on YouTube at least once a week. Maybe twice a week. I don't want it to alter the quality in any way, but I want to try to upload at least once a week. That's where I'm at. I have struggled a little bit in the past with consistency, and I think just because I don't know, I was looking at it as more like, oh, I'll get to it when I can, but now I want to look at it as like, I gotta get this done, and it's just like a goal of mine because I truly love creating videos and like sharing information. So yeah, I want to create more on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about health goals and some small health goals I want to incorporate going into this month of April. So if you have seen any of my past videos, I've talked a lot about how I'm trying to make some serious changes in the lane of health. And I really want to be intentional about this, and I have been so far. So these are just a couple things that I'm doing this month. One thing is getting rid of toxic products in my home. And honestly, I don't use many toxic products, but I feel like there are some that just kind of like snuck in and I'm still using and didn't even know. Like for example, for the things that we clean our dishes with, dish cleaner, I guess, and our soap and stuff, we essentially did not know that it was, I guess, toxic in some way because it was labeled as like a clean product. Like if you go in Target or go in any store, literally it's like right aligned with all the other ones. So I've decided to be more intentional and just researching more like clean products to clean with, and I'm starting there. So that's my goal for the month. There's so many other things I want to do, like get rid of all the plastic and like change up my makeup. Just it's so many things I want to do, but I'm giving myself grace to just do a small amount each month to work on that. Okay, another big one for me is to find a naturopathic doctor or like a functional medicine doctor, or just someone who can help me through this lane of health from like a holistic standpoint. I have been very frustrated with just my general doctors that I have went to so far this year, and honestly I want to find someone who's willing to like work with me on a holistic level. As you guys may have known, I think I talked about this before, I've really been trying to be intentional with my hormone health, and I don't know, I just have been hitting roadblocks with even asking for like a hormone panel at my doctor. So I just want to figure out someone who will listen and maybe even find a different general practice doctor, to be completely honest. Okay, so this is my favorite category to talk about, and it is self-care goals that I have set for the month of April. The first one is to just read a leisure book. I feel like I read a lot of self-help books and, you know, books that I'm like learning something about something new, which I enjoy reading those, but I want to read like a leisure book that I'm not like taking notes or, you know, like really diving deep into. Maybe even finding a good fiction book. I don't think I've read a fiction book since I was like a child, so maybe finding a really good fiction book to read could be helpful as well. The next one is allowing myself to get more morning sun or evening sun. I know that this is really helpful for my circadian rhythm, and I'm just trying to be intentional about it. Not saying I have time or opportunity to always get both, but maybe even if I just go on a walk in the evening when the sun is about to set, I know that that really helps your circadian rhythm and kind of like calm everything down. So I'm trying to do that, and also like reduce screen time at night, because that can kind of throw things off too and interrupt your sleep pattern and things like that as well. The next thing is to do acupuncture again. So for the month of March, I did acupuncture for the first time, and it was amazing. Like, I really loved my experience. The acupuncturist was amazing, and like, I don't know, it was just a really, really good experience for me, and I felt like my stress levels were so much lower. My cortisol levels felt so balanced. Like, it just felt really good. So I want to try it again and just do that as in the month of April as something for self-care. Next up is looking at things that I am really grateful for. So one thing that me and my husband started to do was to talk about things we're grateful for at the end of each day. So we literally just say, what are the three things that you're grateful for this day? And we talk about it, and I think I love doing that. So just thinking about more things I'm grateful for. Next is baking more. So I love to bake, and it's like therapeutic for me, and it's so just calming, honestly, to just bake. But lately I've kind of fell off the bandwagon. Essentially I love to like try new vegan recipes, like baking recipes, but I haven't been doing gluten, and I've also been trying to reduce like different sugars that I'm using. And I know it's not horrible to use sugar in your recipes, and I'm not totally against it, but I think I'm just trying to figure out like what are healthy recipes I can bake with, and are there any I can do that are gluten-free? I know there are some, but I think for me it's just been a learning curve, so I just kind of haven't been baking at all. So I want to get back to that. Another thing is simply getting more vitamin D. This kind of goes along with getting more morning sun and evening sun, but I have noticed I was not getting the amount of vitamin D that I need, and now that it's springtime, I can get outside more and be more intentional. Even if I can like work a little bit outside or get things done outside, I just want to try to hone in on getting more vitamin D this month. Next up is working out. I've been really good in this category so far, but I want to just like make sure I'm getting 5 good workouts in a week. Like sometimes I'll go on a walk, and I'm trying to just like, you know, listen, there are weeks where walking might be best for me, but really being intentional about like getting in the gym, working out, or doing something that's a little bit more strenuous or harder when I feel like I need to do that. All right, so I hope that me talking about my goals and the things I want to go after for the month of April has been super helpful for you. I really hope that you can look at some of these categories, even if you just look at self-care and like personal goals, like figure out different ways that you can kind of implement things that you want to do for this month. And let me know what one of your goals are for the month of April down below. I think it could be helpful to share. We may have some that are even the same. All right, guys, so I thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you next week. All right, bye.